Thought Faber had some solid minutes in that game. Do you anticipate her having a bigger role in this team without having Kai Lynn, and just how has she grown since she got here?
I do. She has grown tremendously. She's gotten a lot better. Her first week was really rough on her. She didn't talk to anyone. She was just very quiet by herself, and now she has one of the biggest personalities on the team. She understands our press really well. She can get deflections. She can get steals. She just plays hard. She goes and gets offensive rebounds, and you can't really teach that type of effort.
What was your biggest point of emphasis for improvement coming out of scrimmage?
I think our shot selection and our half-court offense wasn't great. We shot well, but you sometimes as a coach have to say, well, what if these shots aren't going in? How do we generate offense a little bit differently? And so shot selection, more movement on offense. We have still been turning the ball over in practice a lot, and so just making sure that we fix those things going forward.
How do you balance like the speed of the game and then them getting comfortable and set on offense so they do have better shot selection?
Yeah, it takes time. It takes a lot of film, a lot of time, and there's a lot of things when you play this way of, hey, we're shooting great, but it comes in waves. Hey, we're not shooting great, so we have to work a little bit harder for our shots. And so all of those things, you can really only learn them in game situations. And so it takes, as I said, it takes some time.
For you, are there any maybe nerves this week just knowing that you finally get to step out on the court and coach your first game at Tennessee?
Oh, I'm always nervous. Like, always. And I will always be nervous. That's just the type of person that I am. And so, you know, you just prepare as much as you can prepare. But, of course, as it gets closer to game time, no matter what, where, or when we are, I'll be nervous.
But excited.
Always excited.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was really good to see the exhibition. That was great for us to be able to just see the intros, to see the lights, to see the fan base, to hear how loud it was. So all of that was great.
Yeah, how much did you like that intro?
That was awesome. Like, nothing I've ever even seen before, so it was great.
I know we talked a little about Samara after the exhibition, but just with her passing and the way that she can manage the game, like, you know, when Ruby was hot, she's getting her the ball. Just like, how crucial is she to kind of all of this working?
I mean, everything. She will push the tempo for us, push pace. She rebounds the ball very well for our guard. She can defend. She's smart, and I think she could score more, so we'd like to get her some more touches. And so she's a big piece of what we do.
How high is Ruby's ceiling?
Ruby's ceiling's really high. We're still working on things. And so that's one thing about playing here and playing for me is we're not just going to take you as you are. We're going to try to continue to make you better. And so we're going to just continue to work with her, continue to push her, make her uncomfortable. So she'll get better and better.
At this point in the offseason, how much focus is still on yourself to kind of get everything ironed out compared to preparing for teams you're about to face?
It's about half and half. We'll go scout specific and go over plays and what we'll see on defense and all of that, but we're still working on us. We'll still do skill work every day.
With the subbing, it felt like you settled into two different units almost. You know, 3 or 4 players kind of played with the same unit every time. Just what goes into balancing that out and how you decide that?
Yeah, that takes some time, so that you'll see that change. That'll change probably up until January, and people will be able to earn themselves more minutes and be able to play a little bit longer, so they won't look quite the same, but it's so much easier, I've learned, to start at this foundation and add more than it is to start higher and then take away. And so we're just still going to work out those combinations and who can play the longest and when. And again, it's some stuff that takes time.
You mentioned your starting 5 is based off effort of the previous game. How would you assess the effort from the exhibition?
Yeah, so it's all productivity like on their stat line. So it's something that I care so little about that I will just ask my assistant like right before the game, who's starting this game.
With the amount of depth you have on this team, do you have a set number you want for those rotations, or will that vary as well?
No, it's not something we look at.
With the rebounding, you guys actually had more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds. Is that something that you wanted to get cleaned up on the defensive end, or is that also kind of a product of playing at this pace and having so many possessions?
No, it definitely needs to be cleaned up, especially as we go throughout the season and we face bigger and bigger opponents. We got to box out, and we've talked about the whiteboard, right? That's been our tallies all week, has been box outs.
Is it tough to balance rebounding while you're also trying to get back on defense or get to the press or start?
It actually makes it easier. We're rebounding. We're already going to be up in our press. And so you have to run up there anyway to go get the rebound because you have to press, so you might as well go do it.
What about offensively when you're trying to get down the floor quickly?
Yes, same thing. You're already going to be there. You're already going to be in our spots. It's something we practice doing all the time.
How did you see Sarah adjust in the game? She mentioned early she wasn't getting those touches, and then later in the game she felt like she was more comfortable. How did you see her evolve through the game?
Yeah, I thought our shot selection as a group was not great, but I do think it was significantly better in the second half. So it's something we addressed at halftime, and I do think that she got to the benefit of we were sharing the ball a little bit more. And she had some really good assists in the second half as well, just because I think we had that conversation. We settled into ourselves a little bit. We had some nerves. We'll have some nerves tomorrow, and just making sure that we just continue to play the way we practice.
What do you think contributes most to them being more settled in the second half, would you say?
I think just first game, they want to force it. They want to get theirs. They want to win the game in the first 2 minutes, and they don't realize that it's a long game and it's a lot of possessions, more possessions than they're used to. But anytime you've practiced and practiced and practiced, and then you get in an arena full of people, right, you kind of turn into a little bit of a different person until you can settle back in.
Jill had a basket where she got the ball around the free throw line, looked so confident with that short drive and finishing. Just if she can do that kind of stuff on a consistent basis for you guys, just how much does that kind of open up what you can do?
A lot, especially because she can do it from the outside in, which is what we want.
What's the challenge from Stanford?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of making sure that we take care of the ball, making sure that our half-court defense is better. If we don't do a better job of guarding the three-point line and guarding in the half-court, it's not going to be pretty. We've got to take care of the basketball, and we have to make it look fast-paced like it did the other night.
With the defense on three-pointers, how you mentioned after the game, did that feel like a communication issue or just kind of them getting used to the...
No, communication issue.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.